We'll start off with Ballyhale, first of all. They were 8 points to 4 behind early on. It was a fluky goal that they got from Owen Cody. Long free in from TJ Reid, his own half on the sideline. Came down off the post, and Owen Cody, as he often is, he was first to it, knocked it into the net. But that's a bit of a sickener, and obviously that allowed Ballyhale to get that foothold that they needed.
Yeah, you just, if you're trying to beat Ballyhale, you're looking at all the matchups that you have to get right. You're looking at all the things that have to go right on your side, and then you're thinking you just can't allow that type of mistake to happen. And it's not something you see that often at senior level now. So that was disappointing. It definitely kind of turned the game a bit anyway, because James Stephens were in a really good spot at the time. But, crucially, they weren't able to shackle TJ at all. He got 5 points from play. Did several different defenders on him. And nobody really seemed to be able to handle him. It was just one of them days. And it's funny, if more attention starts going to Owen Cody and TJ is all of a sudden freed up, or more attention goes to Colin Fennelly and TJ is free, it's such a catch-22. Like, they can hurt you in so many ways up front. Joey Cuddihy obviously is a player that's really come to the fore this year. Brian Cody, Owen Cody, TJ Reid, Colin Fennelly, Owen Reid. Like, there's not too many of them.
Reid.
Yeah, there's Richie Reid, TJ. There's not too many of them that you can't really, really keep your eyes on. So TJ was the one that lit it up this weekend. I believe Dara Corcoran was very good around the middle of the pitch as well. Joey Holden was solid as a rock at full back again. They're going to be so hard beaten, aren't they? The longer they go, the harder it will get. If you were going to beat them, you're probably looking at a quarter final or semi final. They're going to be very, very hard beaten in the final now.
Yeah, and who knows? They could be 3 in a row All Ireland champions at this point if last season's club championship was played. Obviously it wasn't, but they're still going for a 3 in a row anyway. And the thing that stood out to me when they were playing St. Mullins in that Leinster final a couple of years ago is Mullins competed really, really well, and they won a lot of ball. But any time there was a ball bouncing around and it didn't come up first time, Ballyhale just kept stealing it off them.
Yeah,
because their hurling is so sharp, and even in the winter, it doesn't matter if it's winter or summer, they're just so sharp. So many of them are county players, past and present, that are physically in great shape. It's just so hard to keep into them. If you don't get the ball and take it away first time, they'll punish you. And most club teams do have 1 or 2 bogeys, and they're the ones that ultimately get exposed. And, I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but I'm not naming anybody, so that's the reality of it.
Yeah, no, they will hop all over you if you make a mistake. If you're not unbelievably economical and efficient with the ball when it's around you. Like, I always think with hurling, right? And we focus on X, Y, and Z at training and different things go on. But how many times is the ball on the ground with players around you, and if you can get it in your hand at the first occasion, it eliminates everything else. So if the ball is on the ground, there's players around you, and you have a chance to pick it and you miss it, all of a sudden a string of events can happen on the back of that. Whereas if you get it in your hand the first time, you're in control. There's so many times you see that in games where someone should have a ball, they lose it, all of a sudden it's down the far end and in the net. It can happen so easy. Podge Collins' goal chance for Cratloe last week against Aina Kildamona is a perfect example. Hits the crossbar, 30 seconds later, the ball is down the net at the other end. The game has changed completely. But in particular, when ball is in around your feet, Ballyhale are so good at that. You very rarely see a guy making, a soft kind of a mistake like that. And when you make them, they really, really hammer you.
Yeah, and also teams often play sweepers against Ballyhale. So even if they do make a mistake, they often tend to have that extra player back. But I mean, that's not down to them, that's down to the opposition. If you enjoyed this piece of content, please follow us on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of the page, which helps the channel grow. And if you want audio podcasts, go to patreon.com/ourgame.